This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Let me read down the list of some of these concerts. So we're going to take it back to age 9. You got the PTSA, 5-year Carnegie Hall Student Award, first place, in the Music Educators Association. Young Artist Piano Competition, that's where that's at. Then you perform some festivals. So we got Carnegie Hall on there, the Kennedy Center in Washington. Interesting stuff. I start seeing a bunch of jazz here. Monterey. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Monterey Jazz Festival in Cali. And this one I do not know, but I seen a picture of you in Switzerland. Switzerland's Montreux?
Mantra.
This
is how they pronounce it.
Mantra
Yes. It
Jazz
took me a
Festival.
while to learn that. My aunt had to say, Gill Scott, it's Mantra. She had to do that for me for a long time.
Mantra.
It looks like
Mantra
some people
X.
say Montreux. Like
Montreux.
everybody, people are gonna know when you say that. They know what you're talking about. It's all good.
So let's stop in Switzerland real quick. Take us out there, right? What's Switzerland like? Like we have.
How'd you get there first?
Yes.
Like,
I'll
how'd
tell
you
you
end up
everything.
in Switzerland?
It was crazy. Okay, so this is 2014. I'm around 21 years old, and I'm to give you a little bit like of idea of my state of mind. I'm 21. It's the drinking age. You know what I mean?
You out here.
I'm out here, like, I'm ready. Thursday night comes around, Friday. I'm doing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What's up? Like, every weekend, like, you know, like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm just ready to be out.
Wanna see some ID
I'm
here?
of age, you know? And so I'm just, like, out just being adventurous is the best way to put it, you know?
Okay.
I'm being adventurous, you know, I'm out just, you know, with my friends, just not doing so much critical thinking as much as just enjoying myself. And, you know, looking back, that's kind of a luxury, right? To just be able to enjoy yourself and not think about much and just be, right?
To just be.
But, you know, I didn't realize that at the time. And
No,
so
you always look back on it like,
Now that
good.
shit is hard as hell to do. To just be.
Yeah.
Now to just be. Oh my
Oh,
God,
man.
we would give an arm and a leg to just be,
right,
bro.
Right. So, you know, it's that time, and I'm just not much direction. I think I had finished undergrad, or I was finishing. I think I was done with the college part of things, but I felt that I was like, all right, I'm done. So, like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Like, I don't really care for a while. So I'm doing things, and long story short, you know, I had a rough year. I just remember I had a rough year. I had a lot going on personally. I was just like involved in some situations that I shouldn't have been involved in. And the only saving grace in that year was the fact that I got to go to Switzerland. It was crazy. I had this awful like stretch of like, it was like a month of just things happening that just weren't good.
Mistakes.
Yeah, mistakes being made and just not being in a good place. And then one day I'm at home chilling and I received this email. And it's like, oh, we forgot to tell you, but we would like you to, we're inviting you to perform at the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. And what happened was there's a competition there for pianists, and it's a famous jazz competition. It's called, at the time it was called the Parmigiani Montreux Jazz Piano competition. And I had sent a CD out to Switzerland. Because my dad at the time, he took me to the studio to do some recording with some other musicians. Because the cool thing about being a musician, and especially piano, there's all types of competitions like all across the world. And there's money there, and there's all sorts of prizes, and you get to travel, and there's all sorts of things. And it's available to anybody to compete. You could be from anywhere and send them a CD. And so I remember going online. I just Google searched jazz piano competitions, and I got like 5 of them. I went to the studio. Thanks to my dad. Thank you, Dad. He took me to the studio. It was a great studio, Tedesco Studios, and I remember at the time they had great rates. You could go in there for 6 hours for a great price. And so it was a great place to just go and do projects that you may not have been sure about, but you wanted to get something recorded. So you could go there. They're not going to charge you an arm and leg, and you could do what you got to do. I went there. I did some recording, and it was like one of the best sessions I had ever recorded. Like, for whatever reason, I was in the zone. Whatever I played on the piano at that recording, it was it. Like, and I'll send it to y'all. Like, even
Was
whatever
it-
music you like.
Was that your piece or was that like?
It was a jazz competition. So what I specialize in is called I improvise. So you probably know what that is. It's just creating on the spot with notes. So I'm taking these notes and I'm
freestyling.
Yes, it's the same thing is what he said. Is a set with notes. So I'm freestyling with notes, improvising, and so I'm in the studio and it's all impromptu. I just show up, record it, but it just. And I'm pretty critical of myself, but that studio session was special. Sometimes things just come out. You might have had a podcast that just, y'all hit it. It was it. Whatever y'all talked about, like everything was it. This might be it. So, is it? So,
I think it is.
Yeah. So I'm in the studio. It just worked. It was good. And I sent that to Switzerland, and they sent me a message telling me that they had selected me, but they sent it to the wrong email address. So
this is important.
So while I'm like losing my shit and like just making mistakes and just having a terrible year, I'm selected to go to Switzerland, but I don't know, and they don't necessarily know how to contact me. They're like, why hasn't he, is he coming? Like, what's up? And there's this like limbo between me just having like this awful year, them contact me going to Switzerland, and it was just like, so I remember like I found out the email, I opened the email, and it was just this like weird feeling because it's like, oh, you've been selected to go to Switzerland, but like it doesn't register yet because we get emails all day that say all types of craziness.
I'm a prince in Nigeria. Here's $1 million.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
come to your inheritance.
Yes.
Just send me.
Your social and passport.
You see all types of stuff. Like, so I was like, all right, whatever. And then, like, after, like, 5-10 minutes, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I sent music out to this place. Wait a minute. This is an actual person. Like, wait a minute. I got contact info. All right. Yeah. So then, like, it started to hit me. And then I remember, like, I was excited. And I went to go tell my folks about it and bless them. They weren't as excited at the time because, like, I wasn't doing well. But I was like, hey, y'all, like, I get to go to Switzerland. I'm like, oh, great. Like, you know, like, we should try to be a better son, like, you know, like, or better, like, you know, human being, like, you know, it's like, and I'm like, you know, I'm all like amped up about it. I just remember there's like a difference between my reaction and theirs. I'm like, why aren't y'all like excited about this? Like, you know, and so it was really interesting, you know, and like, bless them. Like, they've been there for me in those moments, but like, I could understand as a parent, like, if your children are causing you more stress that time, like, you ain't trying to celebrate, right? You're young. You're just doing a lot. So, but yeah, I found out I was going to Switzerland, and then that was my first like big like international opportunity where I got to go overseas and like be like Gill Chapman, like the artist. That was the first time. Like prior to that, it was mostly just like people like, oh, like great, you play the piano, that's so awesome, and then like keep moving with their day. You know, it was like really just like weird. But like that was when it was like, all right, this is next level, and let me tell you why. There were 7 or 8 other pianists that they chose, all from different countries.
Oh, nice.
And one of my
the best of the world.
One of right. So I don't want to say I'm not trying to toot my. At the time, I was real just like I had never been on this international stage before. So you imagine, you know me. I'm coming from Westfield. Like I would just go to Gumper every day. Like I'm just chilling. Like we're cooling it outside after school in downtown Westfield, like eating pizza. Like I'm not thinking about what Switzerland is like or anything like that. You know, I'm thinking about like
probably the only one from Westfield who's been to Switzerland, honestly.
Well, you know, there's so.
By Switzerland to go.
Yes,
yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. Like
because it is Westfield, but like
absolutely.
Right. So that, you know, the Switzerland thing happens, and then like okay, so then the next part is like they're like, all right, we selected you to come here, but you have to cover your expenses.
Of course.
Naturally, that's how it goes.
So I mean, I was 21. It cost. It was gonna cost for me to go to Switzerland. I was gonna need like at least to go for about a week to 2 weeks. I was gonna need at least a few G's, which, in the grand scheme of things, it's all relative to all of our situations, how much money that is to you at any given time. Yeah, it's relative
for sure.
2 G's could be the world to you at a certain period of your life, or it could be nothing to you at another period of your life, depending on what the situation is. But at that time, it was
Wait,
it
you
would have
said
been enough.
it was $2,000 to go up there?
Hell no,
Well,
it would been like 7 bands to go to
sure?
Switzerland. For 2 weeks? He said he was staying for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Life
2
didn't
weeks.
make
You got to
sense.
be over there for a week or two. You got lodging. You got to eat.
And Switzerland is like staying in fucking Miami.
He's
it's
so
not
right.
like, yeah, it's not like staying.
It's more.
not like staying
The
in
dollar
fucking-
doesn't go as far as Switzerland. Switzerland is in some
What are they on
ways
the
more
franc or
wealthy.
something like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah, I
that.
think it is different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're like they're on a different level.
Yeah,
That's like
Swiss, like
yeah.
people like super uber. I think if uber wealthy people, whoever has tons of money, which y'all might, I don't know what y'all got. Y'all got have billions, like from all
Shit,
I
we would
know.
have flew you out, girl.
Y'all
would've
know.
flew you out,
I don't
Gil.
know, y'all. Like
I'm out here
I don't
looking
put
for
nothing past
government
nobody,
programs.
but people with that kind of money, they might like have offshore accounts in places like Switzerland because they favor that sort of
Swiss
like
bank account.
activity.
That's where that comes
Yeah,
from.
so man, so well they were like,
Sweet scam. Go ahead.
yeah, no. So like, all right. So I found out I was selected to go to Switzerland, and I shared it with my folks, and like they had mixed feelings. Like I'm young, I'm causing them trouble at this stage. Like so they're like, oh, like they're whatever, and it's understandable looking back, you know. And then they realized they might have to contribute some money, so that was a whole nother thing. Is like I had to pay for this.
Yeah.
So what was cool about it though, my sister, who you might or may not know, but she knows your older brother, and my sister Veronica, she is an entrepreneur, and she's always been with a focus on a social entrepreneur. So with a focus on like you know children and things and issues that affect our communities and different things of that nature. She had the idea to do like a crowdfunding thing, and that was when like GoFundMe was becoming big, and Kickstarter,
yes.
and all those things.
It was roughly around the
So
beginning of that
yeah,
time.
that was around that time when those things were like real fresh. So she had the idea. She was like, okay, like maybe you should do one of those. It'd be good publicity, and also to get the word out about this competition and this. So I did one of those, and then like the community, my friends and family all raised the money for me to go to Switzerland, which was
That's
really
fire.
really cool. And thank you everybody.
That's why.
I'll say that publicly. Thanks to everybody, who helped make that happen. So we used one of those servers. That was the only time that I'll say that on air. It was like the one time that I was able to use one of those services. After that, we felt that if I was going to do it, it would be for this and once, and I would never be able to do it again. That was kind of what we decided. And I was young. I was like 21. And I took that to heart. I haven't done it.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.